Okay, so I'm speaking with Chris Caffery, guitarist of the influential Sabotage, guitarist for TSO, along with, what do you guys, like 8 solo records at this point?
Yep, there's 8 solo records out.
And now on February 22nd, you have a new project, Spirits of Fire. I've listened to this. This is a great piece of work. Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole mix of the. It's got a real old school feel. Yeah, you got modern influences as well, which the whole combination. I think your playing mixed with Tim's vocals.
Yeah, no, we've been friends for a really long time, and it's just something I've wanted to do, was do a record with him, and the whole idea was just to make something that was fun for people to listen to. That's what I wanted to accomplish.
Got it. Yeah, you accomplished it, I think. When was this recorded?
Well, I started my part of my writing, it was 2016, and then so I think I started doing actual real guitars once we decided what were going to be the songs that were being used in the record, probably that next following summer. So I would say, between summer of 2017 through the first few months of 2018, we're finishing. And I mean, it took a bit of a amount of time because, Steve was on the road with Testament and Ripper was touring, so we're just waiting for everybody to get their parts in and done before Roy was able to finish and mixing it. But, it was done over that period.
Was this something you guys worked in a collaborative effort, or were they things you had kind of laying around?
I mean, none of the stuff that I had, there's actually only one of the songs that I wrote on the record, and I'd written 8 the songs for the music for 8 of those songs of mine, and only one of them, and that would be the song "Spirits of Fire" itself, was a song that I actually had that music around from earlier. It's actually kind of a cool story that I was in Germany doing, because I played with Doro for a while, and I was doing one of our anniversary concerts, and Udo Dirkschneider was singing a song with her there too, and I had a chance to hang out with him, and I'd spoken to his manager about maybe writing something for him, and I wrote that Spirits riff. It's something that I thought could have been a cool add to an Udo record, because it kind of had a little bit of an Accept feel to it. And when I was going through my studio and just starting to clear out my space and my disk drive to have the space I needed to start new songs and do new recording, I was taking things in and out and listening, and I found that particular song, and I was like, wow, this is a cool tune. So I wrote it and finished it, and it actually wound up becoming not only the title track, but the name of the band. But the other stuff I'd written in particular for this band and this record, other than, like I said, finishing that song for it.
So did you have in mind when you were writing it, Tim's vocals?
Well, the thing about Tim, and I've said it to everybody I talk to, is that if you look at all the different bands he sang with and all the different singers he had to sing the music for, including his own, I mean, they're all so great, and there's all so many ranges and styles, and one's raspy, and one's clean, and one high, and one low. It's like, I didn't really think about Tim that way. I just wanted to write music because I pretty much knew he could add whatever he wanted to it. If you listen to this record, he goes through that. There's stuff that's high and low, and metal, and every sort of range that you could put into singing.
Right, yeah. I thought this record kind of showed that the best so far as what I've heard from his catalog. I mean, of anything I've heard before, the range of which he can sing. I thought that was a real strong point here. Do you prefer working collaboratively, or are your solo records more rewarding for you?
But I don't necessarily think that anything comes out in the respect of being more rewarding. I mean, I'm rewarded with the ability to be able to play and write music. I mean, I sometimes enjoy the solo stuff just because it's kind of like if you get a canvas and you're painting a photo and you start it and you finish it and it's yours. But the other stuff to me is more rewarding in the sense that, these other people are creating something with you as well. So it's a whole entire piece of work of a bunch of people, like the same kind of feeling I would have when I was doing a song with John Oliver or working on music with Paul O'Neill. It's like you when you're creating with people like that, and everybody's done with it and everybody's excited about it, it's really rewarding to have that creative energy be felt by everybody that was involved.
As far as your writing process, do you have a set way you do it? Do you start with a riff or a melody, or kind of what's your process?
That usually varies. I mean, sometimes I'll come up with a title or a chorus, and other times I'll have a riff. It kind of usually varies on it. With my solo stuff, a lot of times it'll start with the subject of the song and the lyrics before it goes to music. And actually, when I first started writing my solo stuff, it didn't do that, though. I was writing music and then putting the vocals on top of it. The only thing I did was pretty stupid about that was when I wrote these guitar riffs, I didn't realize that it would probably be a good idea to change the riff when it came into the singing in the verse so that you could sing over it.
Sure.
And so I was playing these riffs, and instead of like simplifying it from, you know, just a chugging an A, I'd still have this really off-time weird riff going on with the singing over the top of it, and I'm like, I can't play and sing this. And I went to play this stuff live, I was like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. But it was fun to do that, but I've learned that over time. It's always a very important thing when you're recording the vocals to be holding the guitar in your hand and make sure it's going to be something that's going to be easy to do live.
For me, I imagine that working off the kind of the lyrics and the song would be easier to kind of give you a good direction of where you want the music to go.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it all depends. You know, sometimes I'll just have a riff that comes to me, and then I'll think of something that's cool to put on top of it. But, you know, the lyrics to me are something that took me, you know, a long time in my life to really get involved with that and really work on how I did that. And that's something that I definitely learned a lot from Paul with, you know, on how to use those things to make your songs really reach into people differently and to really become a part of the song.
Spirits of Fire, is this a project or a band? I mean, is there any chance of any touring on this or any further work, or is this just a one-off?
Well, I mean, I've known Ripper for a long time and worked with him for a very long time and toured with him a lot. I'd love to see us go out on the road, and I think what's going to determine all of this is going to be what the response is going to be like when the people get a chance to hear the album and the fans and the promoters go, hey, you know, we want to add Spirits of Fire to our festival, and maybe somebody honors us to their tour. And I think that's going to be what's going to make the decision for that. I mean, I'd love to see it become, you know, something I do every single year, and there's dates in my schedule that would be Spirits of Fire, and we'll just see what happens. Like I said, I'm kind of thinking that what goes on between us and the fans is going to be the determining factor of that. There's going to be enough people that want to see us, we're going to have them see us, and then we'll just use that. But as far as whether or not it's a project or a band, it's like, I like to consider it more of a band because of the fact that, like I said, of my relationship with Ripper, you know, makes it more of that kind of thing where I don't really consider it a project if I didn't have any kind of relationship with anybody or no desire to do it, and I just was putting out a record. It might be a different kind of a story, but this is something that's been a thing I've always wanted to do, was to make a record with him. So it was a blessing for me to be able to have the opportunity created by Frontier, but it's definitely something that I was looking forward to finding a way to be able to do.